Chapter 19. The Killing of Thieves. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Mudgalacharya continued the narration of the legend. In the lineage of Angiras, there was a well-versed and virtuous Muni. The eminent King Bharata was reborn as his son. He was afraid of being associated closely with anyone and would meditate constantly on Ganesha and stayed amidst the Munis. He consolidated the knowledge of Vedas, other scriptures, and the knowledge he had acquired previously. Being afraid of associations, the eminent Brahmin deliberately pretended to be dull-witted. He hid his ingenuity from all. He behaved insanely so that he would not be forced into marriage. He always behaved childishly. Angiras Muni performed his Upanayana ritual, the sacred thread ceremony. He taught him the purification rituals and Sandhya Vandana. Though he would understand them, he would deliberately disobey his father and not observe the rituals even if his father punished him. When his father would hold his hand and teach him the rites like performing the Achamana, the sipping of water, and such Vedic karmas, he would perform them as instructed. But when asked to repeat them, he would pretend to have forgotten them. He behaved like a dull-witted person. The great saint abandoned all customs and traditions. O Prajapati, therefore everyone would address him as Jada, dull-witted. Some people would show pity, while others would insult and show contempt. He would ignore all such behavior by pretending to not recognize. The people began saying, "He does not possess any brains. He reacts to the insults and praises similarly. He must be extremely foolish." Because of his dull-wittedness and other defects, his father did not conduct his marriage. As a result, he was happy and relieved. With the passage of time, his father, Muni, passed away. His virtuous mother performed the act of sati, sacrificing one's body in the funeral pyre of a husband. His stepmother had 9 sons. After the death of his parents, the peace-loving Brahmin was trapped and dependent on them. His arrogant sisters-in-law did not care for him. They would feed him spoilt, burnt, and detestable food. His brothers never gave him any clothes nor spoke to him kindly. They called him a black sheep who had brought disrepute to the lineage. Nevertheless, Jada Bharata would eat the spoilt, stale, burnt food which was given to him, thinking it was nectar. He would wear the rags and found joy in it. His sisters-in-law would give such food just once a day. The yogi would often survive on just one meal for 2 or 3 days at a stretch without a grudge. Distressed due to hunger, this wise yogi would go from one house to another asking for bhiksha, alms, as a last resort. When he went thus, people would give him chores to do, but he would do all the chores with respect for food. Seeing this, people would happily and kindly give him food and clothes. In this manner, he happily slaved for others. When his brothers learned of this, they happily treated him as a servant at home. Nevertheless, his sisters-in-law would serve him detestable food. He ate the stale and burnt food as though it was nectar. One day his brothers deputed the Muni to guard their field that was ready for reaping. He would stay there day and night. He accepted the job in order to survive and treated all hardships as happiness. O Prajapati, a surprising event occurred. The chief of a gang of thieves had vowed to Devi Bhadrakali, saying, "O Jaganmayi, the mother goddess of this world, if today I reap a bounteous yield easily, then I shall offer a strong and healthy human as a sacrifice to you." When his wishes were fulfilled, he sent his associates to find an appropriate sacrifice. Coincidentally, the thieves arrived at the field where Jadabharata was guarding the crops. They captured him and took him to their den. But being a yogi, he accepted it as prarabdha, destiny of the physical body. Later, the chief of the gang of thieves performed his puja and offered a delicious and sumptuous meal to the eminent Brahmin. After finishing his meal, he was taken ceremoniously along with a musical fanfare to the goddess. At first, they performed his puja with great reverence. Thereafter, they performed the puja of Mahakali. Then they placed the eminent Muni at the altar, and the chief of the robbers advanced to kill him, wielding a bare sword in his hand. The yogi looked at him. Though death of his physical body was drawing closer, he was not distressed. He contemplated on Ganesha in his heart and thought, O Gajanana, let the body die today, or may it live long. Is it my fault that I am to die today? My obedience to you. The goddess Mahakali was enraged. She was a Ganapatya, worshipper of Ganesha. She emerged from the idol. She effortlessly snatched the sword from the hands of the head leader of the thieves, beheaded him with that sword, and drank his blood. With that same sword, she killed the rest of his gang. Mahakali then happily sang the praise of Ganesha and played along with her Ganas. Jadavarata bowed to the Devi. The self-willed Mahayogi wandered, lived on food received as bhiksha, and contemplated on Ganesha. Thus ends the 19th chapter titled The Killing of Thieves in the second Khanda of the Purana Upanishad Srimad Mudgal Puran, describing the legends of Ekadanta, dedicated to Shri Gajanana. End of chapter 19.